Yo. Test 1 2 3 1 2 3. Boy next door. Hello everyone, this is Wednesday Warzone and this is Paolore from the Garrison Archangel team. And good evening everyone, all two of us watching the stream right now. Uh, I guess I'll just wait for people to get in here. I'll just fix some volume stuff I just realized. Ooh. Okay, so yeah, this is Wednesday Warzone once again for everyone who's probably watching right now. Still two people, so sad. This is Wednesday Warzone, and this Wednesday Warzone we're going to talk about the new missions mode we put out for public testing right now. If you wanna see missions mode, it's under single player. Oh yeah, sorry. To get into missions mode, you have to opt in to our the preview branch of our Garrison Archangel game. If you're on Steam, it's basically the experimental branch of our early access game. Basically, all the unstable stuff we want a limited group of players to try out first. That's where we put them. Yep. So, in preview mode is like the the beta test of the beta test. I guess that's the best way to describe it. We released two new things for preview mode. I think we discussed one of them in the previous Wednesday Warzone, which is the Hata Jirushi. Wait, oh, helping hand, literally. Why do you love Pandelirium so much? Anyway, let's just take one of these Pandeliriums. I'm sure Red Rory won't miss it. So last week we tried out the Hata Jirushi. The Hata Jirushi is a rushdown field generator. Rushdown being a status effect that increases your and your allies dash distance. And if you notice, my boost cost is much lower than normal. So I get to do cancels and dodges more often than if I didn't have it on. And you're going to give this is on top of a 10% increase in terms of general damage for all melee weapons. So those 2 hits dealt like 735, so I'll do that again. Now they deal like 809 damage. That's almost 2 bars in the current system. I mean, I added like 73 damage. It's not too bad. It might not be too big a deal, but remember that you're giving your entire team plus this movement bonus and dodge bonus. So that's also in preview mode. You can test that out for yourself. But the biggest change, and we've received a lot of positive feedback. That's a little that at least we know we're on the right track. The biggest change we added in preview mode is the so-called mission mode. The missions mode is basically our test bed for the coming campaign, single-player campaign, which takes place on Baja Secunda. As many people have played already, they have an inkling of what's going on there. Baja Secunda is a planet that is being fought over by several factions. Primarily, it's the although they're not here. They're not here at all. Okay. That's weird. Sorry, it's procedurally generated, so there are different factions. The 2 factions that take the forefront in this fight are the Ducaron. They're a military family called Ducaron, and the mega corporation known as Sunfield Frontier, which is like a big energy company. Think, I don't know, Enron. I don't know if they're still the gig right now. Think that, but in the future, like a big mega corporation. On top of that, so they're all here actually in the codex. That was what I was scrambling around for and goofing around for. You'll see the factions here. There's a short description of who they are. But our final plan is, as you play the missions, you'll find out more about them. Basically, they open up to you with these emails. So for example, there's the Spaghetti family, which are basically they're a space crime syndicate. And you have people who are, if they're angry at you, they send you these nice letters, cease and desist orders. So, of course, there's a lot of like I said, if you take a mission, someone's gonna get pissed off. So you have to judge which of those you're willing to piss off. But most of the time, the people you'll piss off are the separatists, because they're the guys who are angry about the entire big mega corporations and all these big mega corporations, factions, the oppressors, powers that be. They're just ruining the planet for everyone else. So those guys are most likely the people you're going to tick off. But you'll also have the option to help them. But helping them obviously puts you at odds with everyone else, so it's gonna be pretty hard. And that's actually the core of missions mode. You basically, if you're aiming to unlock parts from a specific manufacturer, you basically keep playing for the specific manufacturer and piss off everyone else. But of course, they pay you and you get to unlock stuff. So that was a quick mission I just finished. I remember I was helping Eagle, so you can see that Eagle gained 5 prestige and the enemy gained -6 prestige. And this is stuff you can play now. So right now, Eagle loves me. They're going to give me upgraded parts, and of course, the Separatists now have a bounty on my head. And that brings us to another system of the single-player game, which is the faction threat system. Now that they have a bounty on my head, if I'm playing any mission, even if the mission doesn't involve the Separatists, there's a chance they'll send a kill team after me, and part of that kill team is another ghost assassin. So there are consequences really for if you just want to farm parts. The turns you see earlier. I'll go back there. I'll just color my mech. I realized I haven't colored my mech at all. I'm stealing this, okay, Yoshikawa? Okay, so as you see the turns here in the main menu, those will actually mean something. I keep saying this in the Discord because the people who play the missions mode, they talk in Discord about the changes and give us their feedback. The turns play a role in the game in that they determine the escalation of the war. So after a certain turn, the natural difficulty of the missions go up. So you see these levels actually represent the difficulty of the mission. So naturally, it'll go up every 10 turns. We might adjust that. We might make it every 5 turns it goes up. Difficulties also go up as you upgrade parts in your garage. As you get new stuff. Difficulty. Other than that, yeah, there are other ways that difficulty will go up, but turns primarily count down the escalation of the war. Right now, we're planning a natural end. I call it natural, but it's more like if you're not on any of the planned routes, because there are factions here who play a main role. The other factions are really just there for parts and for really just for giving you side missions. The side missions awarding you parts and stuff like money, one-time, big-time money bonuses, and other things. The Piedrana Separatists for now are just hard mode just to see how good you are at the game. We're planning a natural end at around 50 turns. At around 50 turns, something will happen that will end your current run and reset it. And that's what we plan for the campaign. Basically, you'll keep running the campaign over and over again, getting the parts you want, changing up who you help. If you want to unlock everything, if you're a completionist, you'll change up who you help the next time around. Because if you help certain people until the final level, you will make enemies of other people. Like you're irredeemable in other factions' eyes. So that's something to look forward to when we set this game to public. We'll try to get missions mode public maybe end of this month. We'll try to at least get the basic, like we call it the neutral ending mission. We'll try to get the neutral ending mission into the game, and then we'll set missions mode public. But that's not yet the final form of the campaign. The final form of the campaign will have 4 different routes linked to 4 major factions. The 4 major factions are not manufacturers, but they play a big role in like the overall story of the fight. But for now, the nicest thing about single player campaign mode is the fact that you can unlock stuff. I've been sitting in this screen for a while. You can buy stuff and upgrade them. So it's different from the entire fighting game. Basically, Garrison Archangel just used to be a customizable fighting game, but now you can actually upgrade stuff, and the stats actually differ. You can see it immediately with the bodies, and of course, there's a visual update. So everyone has been seeing that Falcon 2. Now you can actually get the Falcon 2 for yourself. Okay, so I'll get the Falcon 2. I've actually never run an eagle, like a real eagle run before, so you guys this is my let's play basically. I actually did some gaming. Okay, so I ran out of souls, which are the currency you earn for doing missions. So basically, you see that's a different look to the Falcon. And the nice thing about that is if you unlock that here, you can actually go out into the main garage and you'll be able to get the Falcon. Let's just do this. You'll see the Falcon 2 has been unlocked. So it's going to be, now you don't need to rely on the cheats. Like every visual upgrade or additional new item we add to the game will add to the single player shop. So you can actually play through single player and unlock these visual updates. So here's the Falcon 2 in the main garage. Now you can show it off online. Of course, these new parts, these new visual upgrades, they're not linked to a cheat yet. We have a internal cheat, but we won't release it yet. Of course, the old cheat, we didn't change it. You can still unlock those alternates, which, by the way, in mission mode are the most power. The alternates are usually more powerful variants of existing existing basic weapons or basic body parts. So they're really high-end stuff. That's the best way I can describe it. So basically, if let's talk about the parachute of Astra. It's basically the Blue Triter, but maxed out. So for working for Astra, you'll suddenly have a Blue Triter option. So there's that. And like the Mountain Splitter, if you work for Shenji, you'll have access to the Mountain Splitter. So there's really lots of parts to be gained. We're just talking about the side, like the manufacturers, and it's really from what I've been hearing feedback, people are saying it's fun. It gives the game a nice feeling of progression, and we haven't even put in the actual like narrative story and the handmade missions yet. So I'm excited. I can't wait to get that out there. Oh no! Oh, here we go. So as part of the lore, you are a ghost. A ghost is a specialist at resolving conflicts between prefectures. The prefectures are the biggest like government units below the emperor in the Solar Empire, which actually consists of these highly autonomous equal nation states, although some of them are mega corporations. And they're set up this way because the Solar Empire was actually made as like an emergency response to the Demiurge threat, of course, which I've been alluding to, having destroyed Earth. And all these prefectures and the Solar Empire claim to be the descendants or the inheritors of humanity. Since they lost Earth, they had to band together. And part of that, their agreement is they'll have a strong military leader known as the Solar Emperor, and they'll basically answer to the Solar Emperor in matters of war. But beyond that, the Solar Emperor doesn't actually like he doesn't actually mess with how they govern themselves. And for that reason, prefectures are basically government units that the Emperor deems as like a subject who he just expects certain obligations from, but the empire doesn't actually press them. It doesn't actually restrict them in any way. They're free to fulfill their own agenda as long as they fulfill their own like obligations. For example, Eagle Aerospace is a mega corporation that specializes in shipbuilding and in life support systems. So their agreement with the Solar Empire is a lot of shipbuilding and like life support. It's actually very complex. I'm just simplifying it. Their expectations from different prefectures are like that. But the problem is, because of this highly autonomous system, where the Solar Emperor, the Empire basically promises not to interfere in their business, the prefectures actually have no real way to amicably deal with each other in case their agenda cross paths, because they're all equal under the Solar Emperor. There is not a real like court system to handle disputes between the prefectures, because in the first place, the natural state of the Solar Empire was that of being in constant threat of being attacked by the Demiurge, and that has only changed recently, although it's been like a couple of decades where the Demiurge has not shown itself. they were the Solar Empire, as far as it's concerned, has been able to like thwart all the attacks of the Demiurge on their planets. So you have these highly autonomous prefectures, and they're because of the war, they have so much weapons and so much like resources, military resources and assets, and because they're megacorps, they're like military families. They naturally have ambitions that they can now try to pursue. I guess that's the word, and that's what leads to the conflict on Baja Secunda. And at the forefront of the conflict of Baja Secunda, like I said, are the Sunfield Frontier and the Duke Coron. And as a ghost, you've gone to Baja Secunda. The ghosts are basically, they're called the prefectural conflict. They're experts at prefectural conflict resolution, but what they are actually are like glorified mercenaries. Once there could have been like meaning to the entire conflict resolution thing, like an impartial party who basically comes in and says, "Oh, okay, you're in the wrong here, so please stop fighting and just pay this guy," like a judge. But history has changed that, and now they're really nothing more than mercenaries. Basically, they get paid to fight on the side of a prefecture during such conflicts, and that payment goes to that payment actually most of it goes to that imperial office. So it's really a kind of business that the empire also has to sustain itself. But one of the leftover things of that office, because it was once like an elite office where an agent had to rapidly respond to an armed situation, and he had to be equipped. Ghosts actually have one of the most high-tech Archangels available. Their Archangel frames are equipped with a top secret technology called the Archon Helix. And the Archon Helix allows them to basically absorb the energy. They basically absorb energy emissions that come out of the enemies that they kill. If the enemy that they kill is like another angel or an archangel, it's able to absorb that energy and use it to basically repair itself or sustain its own systems. And this technology is basically it's basically reserved only for the most elite archangel units of the empire. Like even the manufacturers, the most powerful manufacturers, they have to go through the office of the ghost. So I made an enemy of the Legion. Woo, that's bad. They have to go through the ghost office, and basically they basically have to get a ghost from the ghost office by like buttering him up or like hiring him repeatedly, getting the loyalty of one such ghost agent to have something like that on their side. So it's something that the Solar Empire actually holds over all the prefectures. One of the things actually, that Archon Helix is something unique to the ghosts and maybe the higher echelons of the Imperial Legion. And many people don't really know where it comes from because, like I said, it's top secret. And I'll just say it's gonna be a lore important thing later on. I don't want to spoil too much. I have a feeling I gave away a lot of things that'll explain the plot of the game. But yeah, that's the basic gist of it. You're basically a glorified mercenary because the Solar Empire didn't make like a solid court system to handle all these powerful forces that united together. And you're it. You're basically that instead. So now you do these missions because you have that special thing. You actually have a higher combat capability than other Archangels, although the companies will do their best to try and match it. And later on, as the war escalates, your successful missions, and you're also making enemies by repeatedly attacking certain factions. So there's that. There's really a lot to see in the single player campaign. Right now, yeah. Okay, I made friends with I made friends with Astra, but I went back to being hostile with the separatists, whatever. So anyway, I've been lore dumping and explaining a lot of things. I guess I should read these questions. Yeah. Can finally catch one of these things. Yeah, good. Thought mission mode was going to be a little repetitive and get boring. Boy, was I wrong. Saving to buy new things takes a little too long. I have varying opinions on that. Yeah, but I agree. We did that on purpose, so you have to play over and over. And if you really want the really expensive parts, you'll be pushed to basically take more risks, take the harder missions because they pay more. Holy cow, it's here. Will some companies or factions award things other than money like parts as gifts? Yes. I remember there were questions about leveling up your avatar. They'll mostly be cosmetic, basically for showing off. We're just working on that. We just want to focus on getting mission mode and the campaign mechanically right in a way that people are enjoying it. But once those things drop, I assure you, everyone who's been playing will have a lot to look forward to. Was that a Wilhelm scream? Yeah. I am sure late. What's up? Stream offline? No, I'm just answering questions. I was doing this massive lore dump. Okay, let's go to Wednesday Warzone. Will there be balance changes this month? The balance changes might be saved for mission mode. As you know, if you were on the preview mode, there were actually a lot of changes over the weekend. But they all came out on Monday. Then we had another update yesterday. We might have another update tonight. Actually, yeah, I have to show one of those. It's to address one of the issues one of our early testers said. Will there be a weapon for May, or is the banner for April and May? The banner was supposed to be for April. It's just not out because we haven't decided to update the public build yet. Because there's still a lot of kinks to iron out. But there is another mission coming out for... there's another weapon coming out for May. There's a... As you feared, because the guy asking this question is Maple, from one of our Discord, one of our biggest supporters and regulars on Discord. The next back weapon is an Eagle back weapon. It's also a field generator, and it helps what Eagle does best. It helps their ranged game. So there's a field that actually helps the range damage of all your allies coming up. So we're excited to show that too. We hope we can show it next week. Any upcoming contests? Yes, there is an upcoming contest. I want to show it. I want to have that contest online by next week. At around this time, we had something called the Fashion Fight. I hope people remember the Fashion Fight from last year. Basically, it's a you submit a mech, and it's a fashion contest. It's a popularity contest, I guess. That's what it is. But basically, if your mech wins, it gets added to the game. And we have, unlike last year, which basically we had one category and 3 winners, this year we'll have 2 categories with 3 winners each. And rather than only the top winners get added to the character roster. However, all of them will be added to the mission mode as ghosts. As you know, if you saw earlier, you saw that if you were watching the stream, I was fighting someone called Usha Jajanka. A ghost appeared, and then it said hostile ghost Usha Jajanka has appeared. the 6 winners will be added as ghosts you can encounter in this game, in mission mode, as a ghost mercenary. So yeah, there's that to look forward to, I guess. And I hope you guys are ready for your fashion fight mechs. I guess I can like spoil what the categories will be. Basically, one of the categories will be different from our usual fashion fight. The usual fashion fight is about like the best looking mech, but the second category will be about the most grunt looking mech. So yeah, get your grunt mechs ready, and you'll be. And I'd argue that the second category is more interesting because you see more grunts than you do ghosts in mission mode. So select a faction and start making builds for that. I'll make the announcement next week. So there's that. Next. Well, weapons get the new effects when they're fully upgraded. Yes, they do. Right now, the weapons have passive upgrades, like passive damage upgrades. That's the most common. Cooldown reductions. But in our original plan, the weapons were supposed to get like new abilities. Like certain weapons are supposed to become reloadable, whereas before they weren't. And certain weapons change up how they charge their special abilities. So there's that. We are still implementing that. For now, we just added the passive effects, just so people have a feel of like, oh, my weapon's getting better. But actually, the weapons are supposed to get crazier as you level them up. So are two-handed modes for some weapons still being considered? With the amount of stuff on our plate, beyond visual, I can't give you a promise. It's really unlikely though. Let's see how far we can take this thing. But yeah, we made those animations because we had it planned, but it might not pan out. And I think people who have played the single player mission mode can see how much we still have to do for it. Any new frame or weapon reskins planned to help flesh out the company inventory? Yes. And playing mission mode has helped me realize just which companies need more stuff in their inventory. Spooky haunted forest or beachfront hot spring area arena map when? That is highly specific. Okay. I'm not sure if we can do that. Okay. Yeah, another request we have while you're all looking at the game paused screen is we're actually requesting more voice clips for the grunts. We know we've asked for it for horde mode, but now that there's mission mode, if you want to be immortalized in the game as a grunt, screaming like, oh, I'm gonna die, or stuff like that, or saying a one-liner before attacking the player, it would be a good time. Like, mission mode has a lot of these grunts, and they're all me. I'm actually a little embarrassed because they all sound like me. So it would be nice if we could have some community-made sounds. And I don't care if you guys aren't like professional voice actors. A lot of our contributors in the past year, they're not professional, but we just want different sounding voices, like just so these grunts sound, like even ordinary people are awkward. It's fine. And it's a good way to get like the community in the game. And there's something in it for you. I mean, we'll put your name in the credits as well under voices. So just submit your grunt voices, and we'll see if we'll try to get them in. One of our biggest contributors is the one who also requested this. Pilots in swimsuits when? We'll see. Did it crash? No, I'm pausing the game because I'm reading. Gosh, jeez. Okay, fine. I'll play, guys. I'll play. Don't worry. Okay, so faction-specific internals when? I'm not sure about faction-specific internals, really. I guess for Eagle you can have the ranged part. I guess for Eagle you can have the ranged part. Because the manufacturers tend to branch out, so I'm not sure about like faction specific internals that would work well with their parts. So we'll see about that. And it's either they'll be very specific effects, or they'll have to be like a mishmash of different effects, like pads. So not too sure about that, but thanks for the suggestion. Did it crash? No, it did not. It's not crashing. Okay. That is terrifying. I guess I'm not allowed to join the fashion fight contests. You're not allowed to get first place. Well, if you're grunt, yeah, we actually have a ban, but it's because this player keeps joining every contest we put out. He keeps joining it, and somehow he wins several of them. So we're worried like more than a quarter of our game roster is his submission. That's the only reason he's banned, but otherwise we would have let him like join. I guess it goes to show that we're not really like a popularity contest. It's more like a participation. Just join our contests and you have a good chance of winning, honestly. So well, I'm not to fault him. Actually, most of his submissions are like champions in real life tournaments. So he actually does beat other players in real life. And he has a consistent attendance record. So props to him. But we have to ban him from winning. Of course, we know who it is. If you're in the YouTube chat, you can probably see his name. That player, we have no choice but to ban him because, like I said, it's just the sheer number of content you already have in the game, man. So next, lore-wise, wouldn't some canon tournament characters appearing as ghosts cause conflict with the tournament? No, not really. So ghosts and tournament archangels actually overlap a lot. It's just that tournament players tend to keep their ghost work secret, and it's also hard to if you're popular in the tournament. It's pretty hard as a ghost. You're easy to track down if they know what your archangel looks like. Most of these guys they either choose one or the other. And if they choose to go into the tournament, they're there like 100% of the time. If they choose to do ghost work, they're ghost working 100% of the time. However, one of our plans for campaign is that occasionally a Archangel tournament fight is held at the neutral zone of Baja Secunda. The neutral zone is where all the Imperial Legion and the ghosts actually stay, and it's a safe zone. They're not actually allowed to fight each other there, and all the prefectures respect that. So in that safe zone, occasionally there's an official tournament, and even as a ghost you can join the tournament. It's just that they'll power down your Archangel because, like I said, the full capacity of an Archangel is top secret, and they don't want the public knowing about the Archon Helix, for example. Luckily, tournaments are set up so that the Archon Helix's capabilities aren't obvious. Because you're not really destroying an enemy mech, you're like knocking them out, and the tournament is very highly like it has a lot of safety. Protocols. There's a lot of barriers set up, so you're not actually dealing that much damage to each other, or the damage is dampened, and the fight ends before you can actually deal much serious damage. But the fact that they can whack each other a lot shows just how much of the barrier and how powerful Archangels are. Oh no, it's Firebrand. Yeah. Dual Schaefers. Jeez. But yeah. Okay, I have no choice but to stick close to you, man. You'll just kill me. Okay. And also, as you can see, Archangel's actually... Oh no, it's Blondie! My rival! I made you, now I must destroy you. Where's... Why does she work for Shenji? This is a betrayal! Anyway, I made... of course, some of the ghosts here were made by us, and Blondie was my own ghost. As you can see, well, at least her AI isn't insane. If she was insane, I'd be like crying rivers. Okay, you're dead. Okay, so where was I? Oh yeah, the Archangel tournament. Basically, occasionally there'll be an Archangel tournament fight, like every 5 turns, every 3 turns. We're still experimenting. That you can join, and if you join, basically they'll power down your mech if your mech's over certain specs, and it'll come in the form of some penalties. Because I'm still figuring out a way. We're still figuring out a way how to properly balance that to match the experience everyone has so far before mission mode. Because in mission mode, you can become stupidly strong, you can become stupidly fast, your weapons can deal so much damage because your strength is stupidly high. There'll be that, you'll have to go back to that experience basically before mission mode, because that's what the tournament is like. The Archangel Tournament League plays like that balanced arcade game. I say balanced with what do you call those? No, quotation marks. There you go. I say balance with quotation marks. So there's that. Although we haven't put them in the game yet, because like I said, there's some stuff we have to do, like the penalties that you get because you're over a certain, your stats are over a certain rank, stuff like that. But you can also, as a ghost, you can also dip into the world of the Archangel tournament just for extra cash, maybe prestige, on some prestige. Actually, one of the things bouncing around in my mind, and this is unrelated to our current campaign, is we want to make like an Archangel tournament campaign instead of like a ghost campaign, because the ghost campaign is like the military side of the Archangels, the military side of the of Garrison Archangel world. I want to make one of the ideas was like a campaign where you're basically the celebrity. You're managing your own funds and fighting in the arena again and again, and probably betting on arena fights. Someone suggested that, probably paying off some people to fix fights. Basically, a lot of things like managing your own social media. That's one thing I want to try also. Actually, we have an idea. I'm jumping all over the place. So there's that. There's a lot to do. There's a lot of ideas we also have for tournament mode. But we might add the tournament into the campaign, but it's much more simplified. It's like, okay, you want some extra cash, here, fight at the tournament. Of course, we have to power down your mech for our safety standards. There's that. There's no real like contradiction in ghost work and Archangel tournament work. It's just two different institutions, I guess, and you just have some limitations or different like mindsets. If you want to go into the tournament league, if you want to become like a celebrity, it's different from doing ghost work, choosing factions, making enemies. It's a little different. So there's that. But that tournament campaign, I think if we have more time, if we have more resources, I do want that. So we can have like 2 single player campaign options. That would be so awesome, right? Anyway, that's just my dream. My dream. Putting your voice in the game. How do I do that? Just submit it to us, and I put my email in the bottom text. So you can check that out. So, are we getting more avatars? If so, when? No solid time yet, sorry. I did ask some questions in Discord, but we do want to put more avatars in the game. Oh, that's pretty cool. That guy sounds intense. Speaking of this mission mode, I would like to ask about the Paragon status that you would obtain if you're favored by the factions. Are there ways it can go down when it went too high? Right now the Paragon wasn't supposed to be achievable. But because of course we have infinite turns and you guys can just keep playing and playing, you probably saw the Paragon message. In fact, the fact that you brought up Paragon means you saw it because we never said a peep about it actually. Paragon indicates that you're basically best friends with that faction. They trust you completely. You're basically part of that faction if you weren't a ghost. That's how you're not just part of it actually. You're like one of the officers in that faction. That's what Paragon is actually. In our final planned campaign, if you achieve Paragon rating, it's not supposed to be able to go down. And basically, all the missions that target, you can no longer take missions that target a faction you have become a Paragon in. But you're only a Paragon that only applies in that run of your campaign. Basically, if you reach the end of your run, all your prestige resets. So, you lose that Paragon in New Game Plus, which we were talking about. In New Game Plus, you get to keep your souls and your parts that you already bought from the shop and any Archangels you had. That's our idea for the campaign. So, campaign's supposed to be like an endless thing, but with routes. So, like if you achieve a certain ending, you basically reset and play through it again and again until you get all the endings or until you get all the parts you want. And achieving Paragon, it will not be possible to achieve Paragon in all factions in one run. We will basically hold that like restriction. So if you want to get like Paragon in everyone, you'll have to play again and again. It's especially true for like the Piedrana separatists because they hate everyone. They will attack anyone. Maybe not the Paghetti family and one of the like manufacturers who has an axe to grind against the Solar Empire. So there's a lot of like faction. We want to really play up the choose a faction, make an enemy of another faction. That's the one of the core things we want for a campaign. Oh no, you killed my favorite ghost, Firebrand. Fire sword. Boy needs some teeth. Has the Vajra. But Firebrand's entire shtick is he burns people. Old school rankings of an arena, please do low. Mech Sports Sim Team Manager, yes please. Hot drama. See, people like this idea. I mean, if we just didn't have this big this big campaign, I know people love this big campaign. I love it too. But there's just a lot to finish. If we had more time, maybe as a DLC, we'll see how well the game does after we launch with all with the single player and all. Maybe as a DLC, we'll have like a Archangel tournament campaign where it's a different like approach. It's not kill these guys, I hate them because I want to get unlocked parts from these guys. It's gonna be more get stylish points, I guess, be more popular, make friends with the right guys, make these stables like in wrestling shows. And then you'll be like, oh, I'll team up with Manok. We'll be like the fast food friends or something. I don't know. I don't know. It's like there's just a lot of ideas. But right now our focus is really getting this campaign out there because that's our goal before launch. We've been in early access for a while. I do hear the feedback for now, our goal is really just to complete the campaign, to complete the rewards linked to the profile. I know there's someone who keeps asking about the level 1 and your profile and your avatar. There are gonna be rewards linked to that, which you can unlock in the single player campaign and just by playing the game. Actually, it won't just be single player campaign where you can unlock stuff for your avatar. We're just clearing that up, and then we'll release the game. That's basically our goal before we launch the game and leave early access. So all this other stuff, like the tournament single player mode, it's really cool, but we'll see if the game does well after this. I hope you guys love the campaign though. The guys who are playing it, I hear praise, feedback. I'm really touched. I'm glad we're in the right direction. Oh no. Okay. Why am I reading all these other channels? Okay, bug reports. Okay. I'll read that. Okay. So, next. Any other questions before I go? Endgame would truly be mil-spec fights for multiplayer. Well, we do want to have like mil-spec fights for multiplayer. It's just that we can't assure you guys it'll be balanced because people can have wildly different upgrades. By level 10, you will become you'll have such high speed, high armor, high strength that it'll be so hard to balance all that. Weapon considerations. We'll be adding so many abilities to the weapons to make single player easy and to make you really feel like your Archangel is super dangerous. So when that gets into like multiplayer where everything has to be balanced, we can't assure that, and that's why we wanted to keep everything in campaign. But yes, we will try to make it an option where you can bring your campaign mech into like a multiplayer fight with your friend or something, or maybe even online. But it might just be like your basically the mech in your single player garage. That's what you'll be allowed to bring up. So that's what we have planned for that. Online multiplayer would be people summoning tanks with their special faction exclusive parts. We don't even have the helicopter generation. Oh, I shudder at the thought. Like helicopters in this game are really they're really annoying. It's a kind of a inside joke that the helicopters are basically like the epitome of military technology. Even the most cutting edge Archangel has a hard time beating it. See that? Those missiles? That's from a helicopter. I knew. Okay, I got rid of that. Oh. The Cosmic Gorgon. Oh yeah, did you guys notice anything? No one has fallen into the water yet. Because we actually gave the AIs the capability to use a feature that we introduced a while back. So I'll try going far away. So do you see that? He's actually trying to pursue me using cruise flight. I can do cruise flight too. So this mode, you actually save boost by flying around, but you lose stability in the process. The AI has been given that capability to, like, if you're far away, they'll try to pursue you using that boost to save on their own, using the cruise boost. He's so slow, I feel bad for him. But they can get overloaded and die, so at least they won't like walk into the water on their own. And they have actually a greater degree of pursuit. Like if most of the time when you run like survival and those other game modes, you can just run away because the AI can't pursue you, or they kind of just muck about. Oh wow, I died. They kind of muck about with the ability to like cruise flight. Distance becomes doesn't really become it doesn't really obstruct them anymore. So you'll really have to be creative about where you hide. Like if even if they're up close, if there's like cover, you can hide behind a building. But if you're just gonna use distance to run away, it's gonna be harder now because the AI will just cruise flight. So I'm looking for a stage that can show that off better. Oh, here we go. Yeah. The shaft can also be, but here I know people have been having problems with lava. Now you have to be like, you have to be deliberate about making them fall into the lava by fighting them over the lava, for example. By Astra. So, lore-wise, one of the things that made like angels and archangels very desirable is the fact that they're human power suits, but with the capability to fly and operate over longer distances. And the cruise flight actually reflects that capability. They have a way to like fly, basically fly in a straight line, saving fuel at a high speed. And then when they engage you at close range, then they do all these elaborate movements, like high G sun dodges. Oh, this is area control. I should control areas. There you go. I'll just stay here. But at least now the AI really pursues me. It doesn't like kind of muck about. Like normally I would stand here and the AI would just fall into the lava and die. But now at least they're fighting my allies and not falling into the lava and dying. Thanks to that change. And for everyone playing mission mode, we hope you guys appreciate that change too, because also your allies won't muck about or fall into the lava. But they'll be more aggressive, so you better be careful with those safeguard missions. They'll really like fly towards your opponents and meet them in battle. Oh, 81 seconds. Oh, someone's in here. Okay. Okay. Not that guy. He fell. I'm sorry. I shot you out of the sky. There are more guys behind me. Oh, there we go. Oh, why did I lock onto that guy? This guy was close. Okay. Whoa. That was a cool fight. Actually, I was just standing there and waiting for people to come in. So yeah, as you saw there were less AI falling into the lava and just dying. And they really like, if they see the action is over there, they'll go to the action. They won't just muck around where they are. And if they see you're far away, they'll use that cruise flight to try and reach you. So I think it'll make missions operate properly, I guess, as expected. That's what I think. My only worry is your own allies in safeguard missions might be too aggressive, but at least they're not jumping off into water and lava. So we hope that fixes it. This fix might reach you guys tomorrow. I think tonight might be good. I didn't see any bugs so far. Yeah, so that'll hit preview probably later tomorrow. Okay, so I noticed tanks weren't spawning. Yeah, we didn't spawn tanks. They basically I don't want to go into technical stuff, but they're not behaving like tanks yet. That's why our tanks don't spawn. yeah, they're not implemented yet. That's basically it. Yep, you can finally do escort missions on hazard maps. Thank you for about making all the new maps. Yeah, I see you guys enjoying it. I watched a video where it was one of our Discord regulars, and he hasn't played the game for a while. He just picked up mission mode. He was using Hata Jirushi, and basically his mission was like, I think, to destroy, but he was able to get like 4 backup mechs. And it was a really cool thing to see him like really weaving between the buildings because his enemies were all using rifles, and he was losing health like crazy just being out in the open. So what he did was he used the Hata Jirushi and hid behind buildings. And the Hata Jirushi buffed his allies and made them more powerful in melee. And they basically like there was this big brawl happening, and he was like weaving between the buildings. So I'm seeing how, yeah, people really love the new like buildings like tipped over. I guess I'll show you guys. Yeah, it's better for me to show it. Yeah, the new desert map and the new city map. Basically, those building cover and the new building cover, even though they're procedurally generated, they really add a lot. So all of this is like procedurally generated. It's actually random, the layout, but you can see how cool it is. Like I'm landing on buildings that have of cities that have undergone desertification. Baja Secunda, it's a planet that has this is lore dump. It's a planet that has undergone desertification due to an old war. Basically, there were a lot of weapons used on the planet. That's all I can say about that. I don't want to go into details about the war. I probably shouldn't have said that it's undergoing desertification because of the war. But it was once a really populated and like a lush planet. It wasn't actually a desert before. So the desertification it's undergoing right now is like it's unnatural. It's because something happened basically. And this desert map is one of it. It's basically the it's the wasteland where cities once stood. So yeah, I'm glad people like it because you'll see a lot of it. It's where most of the battles take place. And of course the dam and the solar farm, because they're one of the biggest like infrastructure and markers. They also have strategic value. Those will be really common places to see in missions mode. Helicopter! Just die. But these archangels are big targets and get hit with swords. Okay, there we go. Oh, I have infinite time. Yeah. Another thing to note is, for now we've added. I might have been too early with releasing certain messages. The messages are actually linked to the narrative of the game. We don't have actual like mechanical benefits yet for helping the main factions, other than the fact that they usually have support in the form of friendly manufacturer. Oh my gosh, that shotgun is actually really strong. Oh, I won. Okay. Usually the main factions have an allied manufacturer helping them out. So for now in preview, although you guys have read certain messages about that attached is a data cache for 2,000 souls, that doesn't actually do anything yet. So for now, we're still working on that. We're actually still working on getting the narrative missions in. Once we get the narrative missions in, or at least like I said, there is a neutral ending in, and get the entire new game mission, new game, and then you reach the neutral ending, then you go into new game plus. Once we get that going, we'll get this mode out into public. So and then after that, we'll complete the narrative missions, and we'll put in the actual reward, the rewards for clearing like the main missions for our profile, and we actually have a lot of stuff in Garage that we haven't put in the game yet. We've been sitting on it for a long time, but we'll reveal that soon. Yeah, basically that's it. It's for now we're just fixing the kinks for the procedural missions. We'll make the handmade special missions and the story missions that basically complete the narrative of what's happening on the planet of Baja Secunda. And after that, it's basically the remaining rewards for clearing the game, clearing the single player campaign, and we'll finally leave early access. I can't believe the end is almost in sight, and I just to be like a bit like nostalgic. I just received word from Twitter. I actually tweeted it earlier. We've actually been 2 years on Twitter already, Garrison Archangel. So that means to me, we've already been 2 years in development, like talking with people, talking with our players and getting feedback. And I think the game really has gone far. The single player mode wasn't even like in our first plan when we first came out in itch.io. We were going for like a multiplayer, pure multiplayer experience, PvP experience. So seeing how the single player, we were only able to release it now, and so far people are happy with it. That's a good sign, I think. So it's really a testament to how far we've gone since then. So we're really thankful for everyone's support. Okay, so that's enough of me. I've been like talking really. Wow, it's 11. Oh, sorry, it's 11 here. It's been an hour. Escort or cart pushing would probably work best for rare or special missions. I know. Also, helicopters are pure evil. Yeah, hide and buff card commander tactics. Yeah, you should have seen that video. I hope there's like an archive on Twitch. Desert buildings need a bit of wear and tear. Yeah, okay, thank you. We'll try to add more of that. Territorial border. Yeah, I actually brought that up. We'll see about adding that. Where on the map the borders for the ring outs are. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, the dam. There could be a forest or an oasis. The oasis, actually, the biggest oasis on the planet is a neutral zone. So it's very unlikely to have a fight there. But we'll see. Actually, at this point, we could probably add the oasis. Actually, if we're just talking about like inhabitable spaces where you can fight, we have another map. Oh, there we go. Yeah, the city sector actually represents like inhabitable spaces on the planet. So this could even be in the safe zone because there are factions who don't respect the imperial peace, and those factions are the separatists and the criminal syndicate. Because anyway, they're criminals, so why should they respect the laws of the Solar Empire, right? Okay, so as you can see, I'm fighting the separatists in a city sector. That could mean like a Medvedev-owned city block, or there's a Medvedev facility in a city block, and the separatists decided to attack that place. Okay. And I'm just supposed to survive the battle until Medvedev reinforcements arrive. Keep them busy, basically. That helicopter was waiting. Screw you. Okay. 63 seconds to go. Oh, and another thing, I've been giving tips to people because I was so excited about releasing single player mode. Another cool thing about single player, due to the Archon Helix, you actually want to kill enemies more because they like drop health. So it's actually part of your tactics to either save enemies up if you're fighting like a really powerful ghost boss. it's really part of your like tactics if you wanna save the guy or kill the guy immediately, so that you don't have extra bullets flying your way. But either way, they drop health, so especially for long battles, it's really useful. So see, I'm playing survival, but what I'm doing is like killing them so I can get health back. Stop bashing me. Okay, I won. So there's that too. It's a bit different from horde mode, I guess. Or rather, in horde mode, there was no real like, because the point of horde mode was to kill enemies, and they come out in limited numbers. There was more of an incentive to avoid damage rather than like, you know, kill them because they can heal me. So there's that. Anyway, let's see if there are more questions. I should end this stream. Congrats on 2 years. Helicopters are easy, just play Astra around. I can see why. Astra has the homing lasers and the Vajra cannons, which are really useful for multiple enemies. Space missions fighting high in orbit above the planet. We'll see about that. Right now we don't have a way to like twist your default axis. There's always supposed to be like an upright state, but we'll see. We have stuff like shaft, so we might do something similar. Bonus bullet of a reload upgrade internal when? Huh? And a chance for a bonus ghost. Overall fight more intense. I am not sure about adding like random ghosts come out in the middle of nowhere. We'll see if we can add that. That does sound cool, but at the same time it seems hard to balance. Purgatory. Okay, so I'm reading bug reports. Okay, anyways, I think this is a good spot to end it. Like, I think I answered all the questions. So. Oh, that's good to know. Would be cool if there was a gravity effect then to pull nearby enemies close to you, like Magneto. Okay, we'll see about adding like parts for that, like a weapon that drags people close. Right now, the only weapon that drags people close is like the scythe, and it's really actually a short range weapon. I think I've shown people enough, and too much of a basic screen that's just lagging. I think I've shown people enough for this Wednesday Warzone. I suggest you guys just try out the preview. It's experimental if you're okay with playing with a few bugs, because we're adding new stuff. You can try the missions mode there, and you can start unlocking stuff. So it's actually really fun. I'm glad other people also find it fun. We're glad, actually. We've been working hard the past weeks. Okay, so yeah, there's lots of stuff to unlock. Oh wait, all I've unlocked are the Falcon. I have 2,000 souls. I should buy stuff. Okay, let's just buy stuff. So yeah, just if you're watching this and you're not on the preview mode, the experimental preview mode, I suggest you guys try it out. We can't assure you it's completely bug free, but because we're adding new stuff rapidly, it actually updates really quickly. So bugs are bound to appear because we're really putting it out there to be tested. But you can experience the new mode here, and I think many people enjoy the new mode, and I think that's a good indication of what the state of the mode is like. I guess even though it may be buggy or incomplete, you can like feel what we're going for. So I suggest you guys try it out if you haven't. I know and I'm really thankful to everyone who has tried it and is playing it and is helping us with the like bug tracking, and we're really busy thanks to you guys. So we're gonna try and like perfect it, and then as soon as possible, so everyone can play it and we can like get Garrison Archangel to like a fully realized mecha game for PC, so it can stand up there with the greats. So, and I think this what we've done with mission mode is it's a good indication. It's a good progress towards that goal. So if that's all, I think this is a good place to end Wednesday Warzone. And wait, I'll upgrade Ranger BR just to show off. Should I go full ranged? I mean, I'm running full Falcon anyway, and I have 4,750 strength. What? Why is my SMG maxed? What? Okay, there we go. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah. Yeah, let's get that to level 10. Level 10. Okay. I'm gonna run dual BRs. Oh wow. That looks cool. You have to admit it looks cool. Wait, I'm turning this into an actual let's play. I'm gonna look for stuff to upgrade. Oh yeah, Eagle doesn't have back stuff. Okay, let's just buy Poppy, guys. Shoot! Okay, 5250. 5250. What if I get rid of one, buy a Peacemaker? I still don't know why that Molnia is back maxed out, by the way. We'll have to check that out. Upgrade that. Oh yeah. Okay. Oh, I can't go all the way, but yeah. Basically Blondie. Basically Blondie build. Right. No, Blondie has a shotgun rather than... Sorry guys, I'm supposed to end the stream, but I'm having fun here. Hold on. There. I'm supposed to get the Dragoon instead, or unlock. I'll see how fast I fire first. Ready, go! Yikes! 700 per hit? 700 a pop? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's 700 a pop. Oh my gosh. Dangerous. Yeah, I need that. I need the Dragoon. I need that Dragoon. Oof. That, yeah, I need stab damage. Okay. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So that you saw the game. You basically saw a what happens between missions. Basically, we experiment. We buy new stuff, upgrade them, then experiment. So that's the kind of thing you'll be doing over and over again as you play the missions. Or if you're like me, I just run Maaga because Maaga has the cheapest equipment. This is actually my first time trying to make like an Eagle build. So yeah, you get a lot of single player mission mode is actually you guys figuring out what build you like, which factions you like, which manufacturers you like, which enemies you prefer fighting, which enemies you want to avoid fighting. A lot of that, there's a lot of that consideration if you go into missions mode. So I really suggest you guys try out, go into like preview and try it out. Let's see if there are any missions that came up. Other than that, I feel melee. Okay. Clutter on the own side slightly shows. Please have that fixed. Me all of core. Sure, whatever. Go melee. Anyway, if that's it, this is single player. This is single player. That was the single player missions mode. And this was like Wednesday Warzone, where I showed off how missions mode, about our missions mode, about the Hata Jirushi, just for a while. More of that to come. So there are more weapons to come out in May, especially because we have to like add more stuff to mission mode. And there's a lot of stuff actually missing from mission mode. Like there are certain weapons without level 2 and level 3 visual upgrades yet, so those will be added in the future. Uh, just so we can have everything like a complete set of weapons. And with that, I think this Wednesday Warzone has wrapped up. We've discussed everything there is to discuss. I've discussed also a lot of lore stuff, which you can find out as you play mission mode. And if you play certain factions, we actually put messages in the game, so you can see that for yourself. If there's nothing else, this is Wednesday Warzone. This has been Paolore. I represent the Garrison Archangel team. On behalf of everyone else, we're really thankful for everyone who has supported us this far. Please tell your friends about us. Please please submit your grunt voices, just so we can have like more of literally the voice of the community in the game, and so we can have like a lot of different voices just to show everyone who's playing the game, who's like what kind of people like play the game. So basically there's that. So anyway, thank you. And wow, it's been an hour and 20 minutes, so I'll end it here. Thank you once again from the Garrison Archangel team. That has been Wednesday Warzone. Sara, bye bye.